Ohio State opens up Big Ten play on the road against Michigan State on Saturday in a primetime game on Peacock. I'm Steven, that's Stefan, that's Andrew, and it's time for our game picks. Ohio State, a 23.5-point favorite, over under of 48. Stefan, what's your game score?
Yeah, I've got Ohio State covering and getting the over here. I've got them winning 41-10. I think it'll be a little bit more sluggish for the offense. They won't get into the 50s like we've seen in some games. I think it'll be a rainy game, and I think they're going to depend on the run a bit more than we've seen. And I think, with Aiden Chillis, with Michigan State's quarterback, I think he's got the potential to maybe make a big play or two and get some points on the board. Not too many points on the board. So, yeah, I've got Ohio State still winning pretty easily, 41-10.
Well, this is awkward. So, my score is 41-10. I'm so serious. I'm not lying to you. I'm looking at it right now. 41-10 Ohio State to cover, and also I'm taking the under in that situation. Ohio State is averaging 45.8 points per game over the last 5 years against Michigan State since Ryan Day took over the program, and Michigan State's averaging 10.4 in that standpoint. I just didn't want to make it so easy to go 45-10 because it just feels a little boring. So I wanted to lower it a little bit because I also wanted to take into account that a lot of those games weren't in these clock rules, and maybe that's 4 points worth of things there. But I just think Ohio State's going to be able to run the ball over Michigan State, and Michigan State might even have some turnovers as well as Ohio State continues what's been this dominant run against the Spartans since Mark D'Antonio left the program after the 2019 season. 41-10 for Stefan and I. Andrew, are you going to join us in making your score 41-10 as well?
What's funny is I had 41-10 kind of in my head, but no. I think Ohio State is going to come out and dominate pretty quickly, and I think it's going to be a pretty thorough domination. Ohio State, I have them winning 48-6. I think they're not going to allow a touchdown. I think the defensive line kind of got their wake-up call, or however you want to call it, against Marshall. They obviously didn't play that well. Jim Knowles and Ryan Day didn't seem all that happy with the way the defense played. They didn't name a player of the game. I think the defense is going to be really, really rip-roaring ready to go. The offense, I mean, the offense is what it is at this point, right? Mm-hmm. They can run the ball. They got great weapons. And I think this is kind of the game that they have been waiting for. And not to say that, the season builds to Michigan State. But when you start the year with 3 group of 5 teams and a bye week, I think you're ready to go. And I think you're ready to play a conference opponent. So I think Ohio State's going to jump on them pretty early. I have this as a really safe cover. Obviously, that would also go over. But I think Ohio State, I think they dominate from start to finish here. I don't think Michigan State, makes this as close of a game as as they could. And I think Ohio State just kind of runs away with this one pretty quickly.
So you're saying no touchdown this week. Obviously, Stefan and I are saying a touchdown. Do those field goals come early or maybe later on in the game for you?
So the way that I kind of mapped this out, I think there's like a second half pity field goal, but I don't think it's going to be like we saw with Minnesota. I think it was last year where, they kick a field goal in the last couple of minutes and everybody's a little bit upset about it. I think Michigan State, maybe they're losing 24-3, something like that at halftime. And then it just really kind of just continues to go off the rails. I think, Michigan State is going to probably be able to do some things offensively. We mentioned in the other part of the pod, Nick Marsh, Aiden Childs, like they have weapons and they have things that can hurt Ohio State defensively. But I think Michigan State is going to move the ball a little bit. I just don't think it's going to be enough to score a touchdown.
So, Stefan, we both have them scoring a touchdown and getting a field goal. I said a couple of weeks ago I didn't think Ohio State would give up a touchdown into the second half of the Michigan State game. Obviously, Marshall made me eat my words while also ticking off the head coach and the defensive coordinator in the process. But I am going to stick to that idea for me of Michigan State scores a touchdown in the second half of this game. Just simply, maybe some things fall their way, right? Maybe they just get going. I tried to figure out if I wanted that touchdown to come early when they're still on the script or come late. And I think they're just going to get a field goal early in the game before Ohio State figures some stuff out. And then maybe later on in the game, maybe they get an explosive play. Maybe Aiden Childs gets loose outside of the pocket. He can make some stuff happen. But it's just Michigan State's got some players too. I don't think they're a threat to win the Big Ten this year, but I think they are a threat to at least put some points up on the board and not feel like the Ohio State defense didn't necessarily come to play that day. Where is your touchdown coming out for Michigan State on Saturday?
Yeah, I have it in the second half as well. But I will say, though, the opening drive is something to watch in this game. Michigan State's had some success on some of their early drives and games. And Ohio State's defense, that's probably the one area you could circle and say when offenses have kind of been scripted and come out on those opening drives, the defense hasn't looked great. So I have the touchdown coming in the second half, but it wouldn't surprise me if it came, right away on that opening drive, though.
So we've got 3 overs and 3 covers. Ohio State facing Michigan State on Saturday to open up Big Ten play on Peacock, 7:30 in Spartan Stadium. I'm Steven. I'm Stefan. I'm Andrew. That's Andrew. Get the text 614-350-3315. If you're watching this on YouTube, go listen to the whole pod that Andrew referred to earlier. Wherever you find podcasts, just go look for Buckeye Talk. We'll be back after the break here. Talk about some games around the country that matter to Ohio State when we come back from the break on Buckeye Talk.